Iron Maiden documentary, Spinal Tap return, and Mastodon welcome a new guitarist. Metal is life and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here you go. This one goes to 11. Again!
Where the demons dwell, where the banshees live, and they do live well.
Alright guys, this is not a test drill. The loudest, most legendary fake band in rock history is officially making a comeback. This is Spinal Tap II, has finally gotten an official release date, which will happen this year already on September 12th, to mark, as the band themselves said, a very important milestone in their career. Their 41st anniversary.
The bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushing. That's what I said.
For the fans of the original, and just for the record, I am a huge fan of This is Spinal Tap from 1984, just like I am sure pretty much everyone in the rock and metal community around the globe is. But anyways, director Rob Reiner promises that the sequel is set to bring all of the absurdity, over-the-top rock cliches and questionable stage props, but most importantly, the legendary and the most talented musicians in the entire world, David St. Hubbins, Nigel Tufnell and Derek Smalls, alongside some no-names like Paul McCartney, Elton John or Garth Brooks. But let's be honest here, who are they compared to these guys?
These go to 11.
So yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm actually super excited about this comeback, and I know that many people are saying that it is absolutely unnecessary, but I cannot really agree with this. Fans have been begging the band to do that for 40 plus years. So if they did decide to come back after all that time, that means that they do have something to show us, right? As let's not forget that these are exactly the same guys who have given us some eternal hits, as well as I guess all Metallica fans do know where the idea for the Black Album actually came from, right?
How much more black could this be? And the answer is none.
A few years later.
It's called Black Album. Now, where did the idea come from to do an all-black album, Metallica representatives?
So yeah guys, mark your calendars for September 12th, as the band promises that this one will go not only to 11, but also beyond. And here guys, I just simply have to share a rather sad piece of statistics with you, that more than 70% of the people who watch my videos are actually not subscribed to the Metal Pilgrim channel. So if you're one of those, and especially if this is not the first video you're watching on the show, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. The Tool scandal. This week, Tool have gotten themselves into quite a scandal after Tool fans, who shelled out thousands of dollars to see their favorite band at the Live in the Sand festival in the Dominican Republic, were promised 2 unique nights of music, but instead got a déjà vu experience with a sight of betrayal from their favorite band. First of all, it is important to point out that the tickets to this festival were sold only as a package, so you could buy them only for 3 days. And the band, which headlined on March 7th and 8th, promised their fans 2 unique nights of music. And while they did switch things up a bit, they still repeated Fear Inoculum, Rosetta Stone, Pneuma and Jambi across both nights, which, if you look at the setlist of the night number 2, is like 50% of the concert, as they actually only played 9 songs, and their second night's concert lasted for just about an hour. And let's just say that the Tool fans were not amused by it, with some hardcore and diehard fans, and I couldn't believe it, but booing Tool, and others being very explicit about their disappointment. And once again, these are Tool fans, some of the most dedicated and hardcore fans in the entire metal community. And of course, after the incident, the entire Tool community has gotten pretty furious about this fact, as once again, the cost of seeing Tool at that festival was close to $3,000. And instead of getting a very unique experience, as it was advertised, the Tool fans have gotten a rather regular one, with a setlist which this band has kind of been playing on and off for the past 20 years or so. And the craziest thing is that some of the fans are actually organizing a group to file a legal case against Tool for false advertisement. And it looks like if their lawyers would be able to prove that Tool were actually advertising it as a no-repeat weekend, they actually have pretty good chances of winning this case. So yeah guys, I know that everyone in the metal community likes to make fun of Metallica, but the truth is that this band, which actually plays 2 concerts with 2 absolutely unique set lists, each of which lasts 2 hours, and not just 1 hour with 50% of the songs they played the first night like Tool did in live in the set. So yeah, it is possible, and the moral of the story is that if you advertise something in 2025, you better stick to your word no matter how big of a band you actually are. Iron Maiden in the cinemas. Alright Iron Maiden fans, something we've been tiptoeing around on this channel for several months now is finally out in the open, so we can talk about it now, as the band has promised us Iron Maiden fans a lot of amazing surprises to celebrate their 50th anniversary in the next couple of years, and it looks like they're started delivering them. And the celebrations have begun, as this week Iron Maiden announced that they partnered with Universal Pictures for a new Iron Maiden documentary, which will hit the cinemas this autumn already. And here right away I just want to answer a very popular question and point out that no, it will not be a continuation of the History of Iron Maiden series we've gotten several years ago. And it will be a completely new standalone film featuring the entire history of Iron Maiden, and will concentrate not only on the process of the development of Iron Maiden as a band, but also on the social impact this band has had on music overall, as well as of course a bunch of cameos and interviews, including the ones by Javier Bardem, Lars Ulrich, Jen Simmons, and I assume many other people. And from what I know, it will be not just a storytelling piece, as it is supposed to be a very emotional film, including the bit which I assume will be a very touchy one for all of the Iron Maiden fans around the world. The very last interview the legendary Iron Maiden vocalist Paul Di'Anno recorded on this earth. In addition to that, the new film will feature some rare archival footage and an all-new animated sequences of the band's legendary mascot Eddie, as well as the history of Eddie's evolution throughout the years, both on and off the stage. What is rather interesting is that as of right now, we don't even have the title for this documentary yet we know that the official Iron Maiden documentary is directed by Malcolm Vanville, the guy who did Churchill at War, and produced by Dominic Freeman, known for his work on Spirits in the Forest, a Depeche Mode film, and is supposed to be released not only on the streaming platforms, but in the cinemas as well. So yeah, it looks like the Iron Maiden 50th anniversary celebrations have finally officially begun, as in addition to that movie and the monumental upcoming Run For Your Lives tour. Just a couple of days before that, Iron Maiden have also announced their new official book titled Infinite Dreams, featuring some of the rare and never before seen photos, including the ones by my personal favorite rock photographer in the world, Ross Halford. And by the way, according to the official press release to the book, it is available for pre-order only in the United Kingdom right now, but this is not 100% true. I actually found a way to pre-order it in the United States and worldwide. So if you are a crazy Iron Maiden collector, like myself, I will leave some links in the description to this video for you to do that as well. But the most important thing here is that the year of Iron Maiden celebrations has officially started. And in addition to everything, we now have at least a slight chance that one of my favorite songs from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son will be featured in the upcoming Run For Your Lives tour. And here, real quick, I just want to thank all of my patrons and all of the YouTube channel members. As it is thanks to all of them, and thanks to everyone who purchases Metal Pilgrim merch to rock out at their next metal concerts, that this show is even able to exist. So if you would like to support the show for a price of coffee and get some cool perks like early access to many of the videos here, just know that all of the links to it will be in the description to this video. And just in case if you decide to do that, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And here the time has come for your favorite part of the video, in which we talk about 5 latest releases from this week, which sadly did not get their own segments in this video, yet which are definitely worthy of your attention. Sleep Token have released their latest single Emergence, leading up to their forthcoming album, Even in Arcadia, scheduled for release on May 9th via RCA Records. The track maintains their characteristic atmospheric style, blending melodic and heavy elements, and features a rather unexpected saxophone solo. And here's the thing, I think most channel viewers know how I feel about Sleep Token, so I'm not gonna really comment on this song, but if you are a fan of this band, I'm sure you will abso-freaking-lutely love it. Dorothy returns with her third studio album, The Way, released through Rock Nation. And this record blends her really powerful vocals with a gritty hard rock sound, exploring the themes of personal rebirth and self-discovery. Definitely worth a listen if you are a hard rock fan.
Get down on your knees, you're begging me, but I'll have mercy on you.
Epica have unveiled their new single Time, continuing their tradition of symphonic metal. The track intertwines intricate orchestral arrangements with powerful metal riffs, offering fans a glimpse into their ongoing musical journey. So basically, giving Epica fans exactly what they love this band for. Heathen have released their first live album, Bleed the World Live, via Nuclear Blast Records. Recorded during their 2023 Bleed the World tour across various US cities, this album features performances of tracks from each of their albums, including Sun in My Hand and Goblin's Blade. The production aims to capture the energy of their live shows, reflecting the band's enduring presence in the thrash metal scene. Ukrainian band élia returned with their new lineup and their first single With It, taking you straight back to 2003. And the interesting thing about this video is that it was actually directed by the same guy who is editing all of the Metal Pilgrim videos, so definitely check it out, and especially if you are a fan of Linkin Park and similar bands. Dani Filth says hi. One of the most anticipated metal albums of this spring is undoubtedly Cradle of Filth's Screaming of the Valkyries, which will be out this week already. So without any further ado, this week in our metal chat, meet nobody else but Dani Filth from Cradle of Filth.
Another thing that which so many people wanted to know after I announced that I'll be doing an interview with you this morning, Cradle of Filth, in addition to writing kick-ass heavy metal music, we're always known for its theatrics and imagery overall. And on this album, once again, the latest video you guys put out is quite graphic and very much of a storytelling piece. And back in 2001, I think it was, that you guys did Cradle of Fear movie, that you took part of it in it, right? So did you ever think of expanding the Cradle of Filth empire in a way and doing more graphic stuff like a movie or something like this?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there are plans for all kinds of things. Some things work, some things don't. I mean, there are lots of things in the pipeline. We have a thing with Vetements this year, which is a big fashion brand that we're doing a capsule with. That's sort of high-end stuff. But then we're also doing a thing with Blackcraft Cult as well. Yeah, and there's some other things I can't really talk about because, you know, jinxing it and the fact that a lot of it's in embryonic stages. But I wanted to do a movie for ages, but there has to be assurances, like committing huge swathes of time to something that may not get off the ground is something that I might have done as a younger man. But with a new girlfriend, a new commitments, and just just the fact that we've got great management, which I spoke to you about before, who have a 5-year plan for us or thereabouts, and everything's just getting so busy that I'd love to do this, but there's only so many hours in the day, and frankly I would need to know that we would have the finance to do that, because even a cheap movie, you're talking $1 million plus.
Yes.
I know that just from doing short videos, how expensive everything is. And it's not just about what goes on, the celluloid part of it. It's the accommodation and mapping people, getting people to places and locations, and that's where all the cost, lies. So they would love to do it. But if you know anybody who's got a spare $1 million, send them my way, eh?
I'll ask him around, man. I cannot promise anything, but maybe wait, just no.
Wait,
I'm a little short. I'm a little short on my back.
Full-on and a very in-depth interview with Dani is already available for all of the patrons and all of the channel members, so thank you guys for that. But for now, I just wanted to point out that in my opinion, this latest CRADLE of Filth album is possibly one of the strongest ones the band has put out in a very long time, as it combines this early CRADLE of Filth sound with the new tendencies. So if you are a fan of Dusk, Cruelty or Maiden, you'll definitely love it. Especially since, by the way, all the singles which the band has released so far are actually not my favorite songs from it. Mastodon lineup saga. One of the most unexpected, shocking, and therefore the most discussed news in the metal world of the past week was of course the news of the departure of the legendary guitarist Brand Hands from Mastodon, the band with which he had spent 25 years of his life, all the way from the start of Mastodon. As of right now, we still don't know for sure as per why exactly Brand decided to leave, and all we get is the very generic statements about how much he values his time in the legendary band. Yet right after this announcement, it became clear that Mastodon are set to not cancel any of the many shows they have planned for 2025, including the one which was supposed to happen just a couple of days after this news, which, by the way, was at the Tool in the Sand Festival we literally just spoke of. And so, in a rather surprising and swift move for that performance, Mastodon recruited a YouTuber and a session musician, Ben Aller, to fill in for Hands, known for his very in-depth and nerdy, in a good way of course, videos dissecting the guitar work of his favorite albums, including those of Mastodon of course, and his instructional series, This Is Why You Suck at Guitar, which apparently he writes specifically about me. But the craziest thing is that the band has actually not given Ben pretty much any time for preparation. And when talking to the festival crowd on March 9th, bassist and vocalist Troy Sanders even said that pretty much the only question with which they recruited Ben was,
can you learn 17 Mastodon songs immediately?
The answer to which apparently was absolutely yes.
Please give some love. Stage right, say hello to Mr. Ben Eller.
And the thing is that, especially given the limited time Ben was given to prepare for that show, I think he did simply an incredible job up on stage. And although as of right now we don't know for sure whether Ben will actually become a permanent Mastodon member, I actually believe that he totally deserves this, especially for his love of this band. And so the moral of the story for all the musicians out there who dream about performing up on stage with their favorite bands is that maybe you should practice more, start a YouTube channel, and actually do covers on your favorite bands until they will finally notice you. Because I don't know about you, but at least to me this is definitely an upside of the modern world with all of its technology. The Smashing Pumpkins Opera. Just when you thought that you heard it all and nothing can surprise you, this kind of news appeared.
Hot.
as Billy Corgan has decided to reimagine Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, and not just as a remaster or some re-recording, but as a full-scale opera! Yes, the Smashing Pumpkin frontman is taking his legendary 1995 album, which has given us such songs as Tonight Tonight and 1979, and given it a full theatrical treatment already this year. Titled A Night of Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, which, if you think about it, is a very appropriate title for whatever this is. The opera will premiere this November at the Chicago Lyric Opera House. Yet, if you hope to catch it on the road somewhere else, preferably in your hometown, I actually have some bad news for you. As according to Corgan, it will be staged only across 7 nights. And that's it. Yet, according to Billy, this won't be a simple retelling of Melancholy, but rather a full-scale stage production, designed specifically to push the narrative of the album to an absolutely new dimension. But the craziest thing is that so many fans, after reading this news, started complaining about how this is absolutely unnecessary and saying that they will not be listening to this. Which, in my opinion, is a very strange thing to say, as Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness turns 30 this year, and you kinda have to celebrate this occasion in one way or another, and in my opinion, giving it an absolutely new life is a much better way to do so than to release yet another remaster or simply re-record this legendary album. Especially since this is not even a permanent thing, and it definitely does not erase the original material. So if you don't like it, well, you can just go ahead and re-listen to the album as it was released in 1995. But if you do, you actually have a unique opportunity to see it open up from a completely different angle. And this, in my opinion, is simply a great way to celebrate the milestone. But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and please don't forget to like it, comment under it, spread the word about the show, and of course join our communities on Instagram, Facebook, Discord, X, Threads. Come on, all these social media platforms you can possibly imagine. Let's hang out even in between our YouTube videos. But as always, thank you so much, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!